everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we're on another household handyman job. I'm your handyman today, and this is my Whirlpool refrigerator. We've had this refrigerator for over 12 years, and with doing lots of home products like all these half-gallon plus sizes of milk, we have a family dairy cow, it gets quite a bit of use and weight on the door. So I've already cleaned the fridge out and emptied out the door. The next thing we're going to do is unplug it for safety, just to make sure there's no shock hazards. The reason we're doing this is, if you can see here, the door has dropped down. Now, several times a day we were noticing that the door wasn't shut, and it was about like that, losing all the cold air, or just enough that it wasn't sealed. We checked all our seals. The magnetic part of it is fine. We did find just a flat magnet that had come separate from one of these stuck. We waited a couple more weeks. It was still happening. Our solution temporarily, while we were waiting for a part, is we had to keep putting a chair in front of the door. I finally ordered the parts. After looking into it, I thought that's no problem at all. It is a door cam. So you've got your actual hinge on top and bottom, and then there's a cam, which is basically a plastic piece on the inside, and then there's a separate one on the front, and it's just guiding your door, kind of like an automatic opener closer. The little nubs were getting wore off, and that is why all of a sudden we started noticing the height difference between the freezer door and the refrigerator door. So if you have a side-by-side refrigerator like me, your refrigerator side is going to fail before your freezer side. It's not a bad idea to do both sides at the same time. Our problem is we have 5 kids, 2 adults, and this door is open and closing all day long. And I don't think shutting it hard or soft really makes a difference. It's just the amount of use that it gets. So we're gonna swap that little plastic piece out, and we're gonna be back in business. You do not have to go right back out and buy a new fridge. Like I said, this is getting old. There's other reasons to replace it, but not today. So the first thing I did in finding out my part or my problem was diagnosing the issue of the door not staying shut. It was opening and closing fine. It just didn't want to stay in the sealed position. I first went to repairclinic.com. You put in your model number of your refrigerator, and there's usually a sticker right up there up in the top. Sometimes it's in the back or on the other side. And put in your model number. A parts list is going to come up from that. And from there, you can figure out cost, whether it is going to be prohibitive for you to repair it. On this particular part on repairclinic.com, the price is $4.20, and it says the DIY savings, hang on to your hats, $268 to not call out a repairman to do this. Now, I had to wait 2 weeks for my part because this time I ordered it on eBay. I do it a lot. I try to avoid ordering from California and Florida, because what they do a lot of times is say it's in California or Florida and it's being drop shipped from someplace else, or it's getting shipped from China to here. So what I looked for is factory certified parts. Now, there's local appliance stores that you can just walk right in and buy this. Appliance parts, I think it's called APCO. It used to be appliancepartspro.com, and this is part number WP2182179. Now this fits Kenmore's, Whirlpool's, GE's, Maytag's, Frigidaire's. It's a very common part, but that right there, factory certified parts. It's made in the USA, which means it should be located here, not being shipped in someplace else. There was tracking problems. I don't know why or how, but it said my part was in like Pontiac, Michigan, which doesn't seem to be a distribution center for the post office that even exists. So I don't know what I was getting, but it finally came today. Couldn't wait to get to this. So the fridge is clean, it's ready to go. Let's show you the steps to do this. So I've got a couple of 2x4s and a 1x4 ready. I've got a 5/16 driver on my socket, a flathead screwdriver. I grabbed some needle nose pliers just in case, because this little driver is not in very good shape. We don't run the water and ice on our machine, so that's why you're not seeing anything here. But you want to take this off and just rocks forward on some clips and pulls away. Now I cleaned this about 2 weeks ago in figuring out all this, and while I was considering what was happening, I kept seeing black material, grindings, almost like soot collecting on this. So that was a pretty good indicator of what was going on. Take this opportunity, I haven't done this in a little while, clean this out with a vacuum or a brush, anything you can. It's going to extend the life of your refrigerator compressor by not blocking airflow. So here's our actual part, and that's why it wears down. Those little teeth there over time just get wore out. I suppose there's a reason for doing it out of plastic. Now, in some cases, the appliance repair places will tell you to just block up your refrigerator like this and take out the bottom hinge to be able to access that. Now, in some newer models, there is a 5/16 nut there also. So be aware that it may be the style for you that you have to take off your top hinge and your bottom hinge and lay the door down on the floor. We're going to try to get away with this the old way because my hinge actually mounts here. So we're just going to back these out. Now, if you don't have a socket wrench, you can just use a nut driver. A nut driver is basically one of these on the end of a screwdriver. A lot of kits will have all of these common sizes. Every house should have one. Just a basic toolkit. I think I got my first one when I was 20-something in my first apartment. Now we've probably got a dozen of them because they get left here and there. Like I said, we've got a lot of people in my house, and half of us or more are doing projects. Okay. I'm just going to put these aside. That hinge. Yeah. See this? That's all the grindings of that cam follower wearing out on there, and it's actually broken right off on my piece. So this is our cam that goes in the door, and there's a second part to the cam that actually mounts on your hinge. And when I looked up my parts, because I didn't look at the door parts, I sure wish that they would have had a kit that had everything included, because this one goes up into the door and they marry each other right here. And the one that's going up into the door is completely rubbed smooth. So I'm going to have to try to pry that one out. This seems like it's a pretty good match and that there's not really wear on the lower. So hopefully we won't have to take it apart a second time waiting for more parts. But this is going to get us going for today. And if you have to replace the lower one, there's a 5/16 inch nut holding that one on as well. I did see at one point there was a kit for both sides, freezer and refrigerator side, with all the pieces laid out. So keep your eye out for that, because like I said, they're going to wear at some point, probably not at the same time. So now we're going to see if we can just get this out with a screwdriver. And we're going by feel. So as soon as I poked around in there, I could tell, and it occurred to me, this hole is for another 5/16 inch nut. So I am going ahead with taking the door right off. So we're starting with the top hinge, and there is a protective cover over the top. I just started with taking that one out, and now we're going to go ahead and take these 3 out as well. This is where you're going to probably want a helper or the 2x4s in place down on the bottom. Now keep in mind, you're going to want your door empty. I've done some things today, so I'm just going to verify. It's empty. It was a good time to clean everything. Now there's another plastic piece in the top part of the door that should come with that kit if you're replacing everything, so keep that in mind. But it's basically just a keeper for the top hinge. It's a clear silicone type plastic. Now I'm going to leave that sitting there so that I don't have to get all of it lined back up next time. And it's not heavy. These are made of plastic. I'm going to go ahead and set my drawers aside. You don't want to break these and drop them. They are available as replacements, but those already are my replacements. So I'm going to just turn this on its side. Okay, now we can turn this around and show you our cam follower right here. Great time to clean things. We're going to go ahead, back that out with the 5/16 inch nut driver so we can pop the new one in. So there's the old one. Here is the new one, and that is why it wasn't working. Run right down, totally smooth. Okay, so now we are just going to line our door back up. going to start with the top hinge. Now we're going to go ahead and move down to the bottom hinge. Now at this point, I'm going to want to lift the door up onto my 2x4, and I had a bit of a gap from it falling, so that's why I had an extra, because I wasn't sure how much I was going to have to lift. You see that drop down quite a bit. So we're going to go ahead and get this started. I'm going to insert this bottom part of the hinge into the door, and then we'll get everything lined up. There we go. Now, you can feel right where those fit together. The thing to remember is, most appliance guys, when they show up at your place, and you've been on a wait list for a while, it's one guy. So if he can do it, you can do it. You can see I'm using my socket ratchet like this. It's a lot faster, and then I'll just tighten it down with the ratchet handle when I'm done. I'm holding that door up with my left hand and running the nuts with my right. Now I realize you might be thinking, I've never fixed anything before, or I'd rather really leave that work to the appliance man. 18 years ago, my son was just a baby, and we had a dryer under warranty, and we bought it from Sears. They sent out the appliance warranty repair people, and it was a woman, and she showed me how to clean out my own dryer, and that's kind of what started and launched our helping section of the YouTube channel, because we just were doing all of our own repairs anyway, and all of those repairs were falling on me. So we're put back together. Let's check out our alignment. So I took some screenshots at repairclinic.com to share with you the part number and just how to look up your part. So it's just simply putting in your model number and then scrolling down the parts list. Some of these guys make videos, they edit it down, and it's 3 or 4 minutes. I'm showing you a lot more detail, the actual whatnots of doing it. I always have trouble putting this thing back in, and it's real quick and easy to get it out. We just have that sit there like a dummy so that it's ready to go. So now my door is more level up here at the top, and it's closing all the way. And it just opens and closes. I can actually hear it click in that cam. It's basically those three teeth that it sits on. So I'm real happy with that repair. Total, it said $298 on that screenshot for savings of the DIY. Now our family is super frugal, and a $298 savings over calling a repairman, even though I had to wait, was well worth it. Speed up your waiting time. Order that complete kit. There's, if you scroll down a little bit further, the bottom cam closer, ours looks good. You know I'm gonna order it and have it on hand. Sometimes not every single part has to be swapped. Consider that. This door staying shut, it's sealed. It's going to save money in energy for us. Our electric bills are always astronomical just because of pumping water, running an electric dryer. Our heater, our water heater goes into electric. So we have to save money everywhere we can, and this is definitely the way to do it. I hope this video helped you. Give us a thumbs up, like and subscribe. You can always leave a tip down below to buy us a cup of coffee. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.